This clip is brought to you by BoutTheOnline.com.
Thanks, family. So this week we're joined with a super special guest, a hip-hop legend, J-Dee from the Lench Mob. Legendary. What's good with you, King?
How you doing? What's going on with you?
No doubt, man. I'm pretty good. Definitely stoked to have you here joining us with your fans out in London and obviously around the world and stuff as well. So it's a good experience for us to be able to speak to, somebody who was definitely there around in the early days, still around now, made a lot of moves and still making positive and progressive steps within the culture.
Absolutely. And thank you for having me on the show. Shout out to the whole UK. Shout out to my boy and them, like I told you. Shout out to Moni Love and her brother Marvin. Shout out to Everett, Clifford, my brothers from the Brixton area. But yeah, it's a blessing to make it back. It definitely is a blessing to make it back. It was a definitely long journey, one that a person couldn't predict the outcome. You understand what I'm saying? But at the same time, the Almighty, the Most High, my Heavenly Father Yahweh had a plan much bigger and much broader than mine. And so I was blessed to be reunited with the family and hopefully complete the mission that he got me on, bro.
No doubt, man. That's real. And we're glad to have you back. We recently spoke to Chili Chill and stuff as well. And he spoke about a new single that you guys had, Forever Rolling, which was slamming. We was bumping that. But to kind of take him back a bit, I guess a lot of the fans really want to get into how did it all start for you linking up with Ice Cube, forming the Lench Mob, and sort of the early beginnings, the climate of what it was like for you getting into hip hop in the early days.
Well, the early days was, it wasn't a lot of acts out west, it wasn't like the game wasn't like it is now, completely oversaturated with just a million artists. And so, and the thing with Ice Cube, he and I grew up in the same neighborhood, His sister was like my older homegirl. She was from the neighborhood, And so one day we run into each other. Boys in the Hood was like a dry, rough copy of Boys in the Hood floating around the neighborhood on a cassette tape. You know what I'm saying? And I caught that older boy. J-Dee was a friend of mine. So I caught him in the car trying to steal my Alpine. And I was like, what the fuck? And I was like, Q, why you do me like that, bro? And we started talking about that. And he reminded me that it was a cat named J-Dee that Eazy-E used to mess with in Compton. And see, I used to mess with Eazy in Compton. So, the connection, the conversation kind of drew this parallel. And he and I eventually, I guess, for lack of a better word, came to a cool understanding quickly. And Cube started inviting me to NWA concerts. After they broke up and I stopped selling drugs, I was doing my own thing and working. And I ran into him at an in-store autograph session with Too Short, Ed Lover and Dr. Dre from Yo MTV Raps, and Heavy D and the Boys. This is when T-Roy was still alive, rest in peace. And Cube hit me up. He's like, what the fuck are you doing? I said, man, I'm at work. He said, man, you ain't selling dope no more? I said, nah, fool. I got a daughter now. I got to get this shit right. And he was like, look, you still rap? I was like, yeah. He said, come outside. So I slide outside and he turned me onto a rough draft of America's Most Wanted. And I was like, what the fuck is this? And he said, man, this is my new record. I went solo. I left NWA. I was like, what? He was like, you want to with me, blah, blah, blah. We talked. I was like, yeah. He said, I'm thinking about calling it the Mass Circle or the Lench Mob. I'm like, shit, you did play like a piano already with King T. You might as well call it the Lench Mob. Plus, that's a hard-ass name that ain't nobody gonna never forget. And, bro, the rest they say is history. That motherfucker locked me in, signed me up, flew me to New York. I met Chuck D. I met Eric Salad. I met Hank Shockley, Keith Shockley. I met the whole Bomb Squad. Then I started meeting my idols. And this was all at a off-chance encounter, you know what I'm saying, at a record store, bro.
Oh, man. And I mean, you mentioned America's Most Wanted, definitely a classic right there, which you featured on a few skits and stuff like that. But, speaking of the Lench Mob, it was just, as a group, we do have an understanding you got the Lench Mob as a whole sort of posse, which includes, KD, Chili Chill, a whole bunch of others. But the Lench Mob group, the first incarnation of the group, how did that come together? And, that's when you guys did like the Gorillas of the Mist.
Well, the concept is this. And shout out to Chili Chill, shout out to Dazzy D, KD, my boy 3, and T-Bone, You know, the entire Lench mob, my boy Heavy, you know, and shout out to Ice Cube for creating this, you know, this wave of energy that's probably lasted, you know, slowed down to a degree, and now it's gonna pick up again, you know, and shout out to all of them. But we couldn't separate one pie 15 ways. That's just not a slice that was gonna satisfy everybody. And plus it was too much talent amongst us as a collective. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So it was hard to harness all that talent and all those styles and corral that and come up with a comprehensive project that, you know, that would do pretty good. So I think Ice Cube and Pat probably had a lot to say about the breakdown and the construction of the group, you know. And then people were like, you know what, I'm gonna do my thing over here. Dazzy was already dope as fuck when he met Cube, man. You know what I mean? Because he and Jinx went to school together and they all grew up on the same fucking blocks and blocks apart from each other. So there was this synergy already there, you know what I mean? But when we formed the trio, me, Bone, and Shorty, rest in peace, it was let's take it in the direction that the entire group wasn't ready to go in. KD was kind of laid back and fly, he gigolo, you know what I'm saying, a player. You know, Chili Chill gonna keep it gangster all day, every day. Same as 3, you know. So with that in mind, and the same with Dazzy, with that in mind, we was like, look, instead of being gangster rappers, instead of, you know, frowning upon the term and the phrase gangster rap, let's be motherfucking gangster rap like street politicians, homie. Let's report what we see without reporting information. You feel me?
Yeah.
It's kind of like on the scene reporters in a hot zone for a war correspondent. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of like how we designated ourselves. So Cube kind of took that, fashioned it, and ran with it.
Yeah. I think especially when we think of that socio-political edge and stuff that you guys brought at the time, it was very hard. You know, sounds like Freedom Guy, AK. I mean, there was a huge sort of NOI movement and stuff at the time, which we know there was, you know, a lot of affiliations with. We've seen on the America's Most Wanted cover, even, you know, some of the album pictures and stuff where I think it was dope where you had the picture of, you know, the street cats on one side, the NOI, the FOI on the other side, you know. But I digress. You know, the Gorillas in the Mist album, some of the tracks, Cube's name wasn't really featured on, but he also featured on them. I mean, what was I guess some of the creative direction behind coming out with that album? And I know that there would be some controversy with the lead single. It was reported that it was given that Gorillas in the Mist title from a racist joke or something that somebody had made.
Yeah, with a joke. It really wasn't a joke because wasn't shit funny. You know what I mean? Wasn't shit funny. You know, the motherfucker who told the joke, a racist ass LAPD officer named Theodore Presenio and Lawrence Powell, who were part of Rodney King's trial. You know what I'm saying? Actually, they were two of the motherfuckers who brutalized and beat the brother in the street, you know? They had previously responded to a call, which was a domestic violence call. And the dirty cop said something to the effect that, you know, after leaving that call, it was something like out of Gorillas in the Mist, the way 2 black people, we had to deal with them, you know? And, you know, right then and there, you know, we knew who we was dealing with. The city knew what they was going to get. Everybody anticipated. So, you know, Cube was like, you know what? We are in a volatile situation right now. This is a volatile era right now. We can actually seize this moment and at the same time come with something that's socially palatable. You feel me? For lack of a better word, something that's socially palatable with, you know, young blacks, young African Americans, young cats out the hood like me that look like me can say, damn, if he can back away from the gang culture a little bit and report what's really going on behind the scenes that affect us all, then you know what, maybe I can change and become something. But I'm gonna tell you something after that. I just wanted to let you know that's kind of how it was formed. So Ice Cube was like, fuck being gangster rappers. Fuck being gangster rappers. Y'all can be gangster rappers, but then you're gonna blend in with me and everybody else. So how you gonna stand out? What's gonna separate the Lench mob? So we said, fuck it, let's become politically and socially conscious and responsible and kind of deliver a message a different way.
I mean, some people have likened the message and the way that you guys deliver music to sort of like a Public Enemy from the West. I was gonna say also, it's just some of the lyricism that was displayed on the album, and even in the Gorillas in the Mist song. I mean, one of my favorite lyrics out there, you know, they tried to play me off with a banana, but J-Dee is blacker than that city called Atlanta.
You know,
Give me some elbow.
And elbow.
You got,
yeah, you know, because I didn't want to be, I didn't want to be caged in. And do you see the irony in that? Do you see the irony in that? You think nobody went behind the scenes analyzing that music, listening to that music? You know what I'm saying? Give me some elbow room, swaka boom, shaka laka boom. You know, that's the sound of a 20 gauge. Lock us up in the Lench mob to break out of any
cage.
And then look at this. This is how powerful our Heavenly Father is. All praises to Him. After 28 long years, He delivered me with a sound mind, beautiful wife, strong daughters who are all educated, independent hustlers and entrepreneurs. You understand what I'm saying? He delivered me home. Like I said, this ain't had shit to do with me. Lonzo, this ain't got nothing to do with me. Hey, Fonzo, this is His work.
Amen.
You know, this is His work.
Yeah,
so,
and I mean, you've always showed. Sorry to interject, just a strong sense of spirituality and stuff as well. You know, whether that was before, and you know, even today, it's something that it's good to see that you've never faltered from, and even going through, you know, different circumstances and tribulations, you've still remained strong and still a positive role model for others around the world as well.
Absolutely, and I take no credit. Absolutely, I take not 1 ounce of credit, not 1% of credit, because everybody don't make it out of California Department of Corrections after 28 years. Everybody don't make it out of there with a sound mind. Everybody don't make it out of there with a support system in place after 28 years. Everybody don't make it out of there, bro, on their own 2 feet and still mobile. I'm still healthy, bro. You feel me? I didn't tear my body down, didn't tear my mind down. I exercised. I did what I needed to do, you know. But I stayed prayed up the whole time. People told me, why you believe in that? That shit got you in jail right now. You can't even get out. Pray to get in heaven, nigga. Get some money to get out of jail. That's what they used to tell me. Pray to get in heaven, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Pray for some money to get out of prison. Because a prayer upstairs, they say, ain't going to get you out of prison. I told them I don't believe.
Yeah, who's going to act, you know, that's real. But, you know, also tying in with that, I guess, do you think that your legal situation could have been different if your music wasn't so politically charged?
Yes, of course. I'm gonna give you a brief reason why. Because if I was out here in 92 and 93 talking about gorillas is gangsters and I'm gonna kill every nigga and bitch I run across, and if I was out there talking about I love all my white oppressors and all my heroes, you know what I'm saying, from the 1800s and the 1900s, you know, then yeah, let that old monkey ass nigga run around. Let him run around. He talking about killing his own. Perpetuate that. Encourage that. Produce that, promote that, market it, and sell that. That's what they did, bro. Look at this real quick, Alfonso. Let me say this to you. Look at the wave of music that came after I went to prison.
Yep.
Let's go back to 92, 93. The first album that killed the hip hop game off the top, and shout out to them, is the Death Row, The Chronic. When The Chronic came out, every label and every label head was saying, you know what? This is the formula. 40 ounces, hoes, Chevrolets, you know what I'm saying, and plenty of malt liquor. Put it in a mansion setting, and this is the ideal life that we could sell to these motherfuckers for a generation. And if we make a few rich motherfuckers along the way, we could convince them to keep selling it. And they'll make millions and millions and millions off of it. Everybody else won't. But they'll be the grandfathers of, how do I say, promoting genocide. You know?
Yeah.
Look at it now. Look at the music now.
Definitely. It's one thing we speak about it a lot, you know, even just on how the music is now, what sort of effect that the music has played on the street culture and just on people's psyche and stuff like that, especially when it comes to people of color and stuff and coming from certain communities. There's a lot of different reports onto variants, where people say even some of the big CEOs at certain labels had, played into the prison systems and stuff like that as well. And there's a whole lot of conspiracy and different aspects around it. And I was talking to somebody from the Loonies the other day, Numbskull, shout out to Num, and he was saying the same thing. We were just saying, do you think there could be like a Tupac of today's generation? But he was saying no, because just how everything is sort of monopolized and controlled. And I guess that's a cool segue, because you was photographed in an iconic picture with Tupac and stuff. And even when you talk about the music changing, how we see the death row era and the gangster rap and stuff and things changing, I mean, what was your experience of Tupac, and do you feel that he played a part somewhat in, I guess, the gangsterism of the music changing and stuff?
Well, no, Pac was always Pac. Pac was the same on Brenda's Got a Baby, is the same as They Got Me Trapped. You know what I'm saying? Pac was the same from, Machiavelli 7. You know what I'm saying? All the way back to his 8 bars on Digital Underground, Do the Humpty Hump. You know what I'm saying? All around the world, same song when he did that little piece. So Pac always been creative, inventive, and can adapt to any times and circumstances. And to be honest, just like Razzcast, Pac was a little bit too motherfucking deep for his time. Yeah, a lot of shit that Pac knew, a lot of shit Pac was about, motherfuckers wasn't ready for that. They wasn't ready for Che Guevara. They wasn't ready for any type of Marxism. They didn't know anything about fascism. They didn't know shit. So Pac would drop jewels on people, and they was like, man, fuck all that. People didn't want to hear that. That's the Pac I knew. But then he had this influence, and that influence took him down a lane that he really wasn't built for. He was built for violence, because Pac was a soldier. He was the motherfucking offspring of a Panther. You feel me? So he was built for violence, but he wasn't built for the politics of Los Angeles. He wasn't built for the politics of gang culture. You feel me? He was a well-known good celebrity, so he didn't change gangster rap at all. Pac just made his contribution to it, and arguably is one of the greatest motherfuckers who've done it.
Most definitely. I mean, sometimes we only hear, I guess, from people like Funkmaster Flex. They do sometimes, he said he blames Pac for a lot of things, which Spice One and a few others have kind of chimed in and checked him on that. But
yeah, fuck that. Fuck that. That ain't. You can't blame nobody for nothing. That's like me going back in time and blaming motherfucker Schoolie D for PSK. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So how I'm gonna get mad at motherfucking Schoolie D for influencing me back in the motherfucking 80s for dropping, PSK? How I'm gonna be mad at Cool G Rap for telling me, you know what I'm saying, he got the Ill Street Blues? You know what I'm saying? That's fuck. How I'm gonna be mad at DMX? You know what I'm saying, for giving me the Rough Riders answer? That's like saying, you know what? I'm gonna blame hip hop now. Fuck it. Hip hop is the blame for everything that went wrong. That's not true, bro. And I love Funk Flex. I love Funk Master Flex. Matter of fact, I don't do the East West shit. My career began in New York. So the fuck I look like disrespecting my brothers from, all 5 boroughs. And I don't blame nobody.
No, I get you. You mentioned that even the East-West, just to touch on that slightly. I know it was a situation you wouldn't have been even, around for as such, but, do you think it was just too publicized by the media? We know that it kind of got a bit crazy, but things seem to have simmered down a lot now.
Listen, man, when you fucking with that kind of money, and then you got that kind of energy, and the wave behind that energy doesn't stop, and it continues and it continues, and it picks up shit in its path. And then you get these crazy motherfuckers like LAPD behind the scenes. You get these other entities behind the scenes start to, pull some strings and say, hey, we can play this to our advantage and get these motherfuckers to kill each other for a minute and separate. Because if you unite the coast, that's something that through hip hop and through the financial earnings that we get, they couldn't handle that. They couldn't handle a united front of black and brown artists, bro. They can't handle that. So they had to perpetuate that shit. They the masters of subterfuge, homie. You know that. They are the masters of subterfuge. So Pac was a soldier. There's absolutely nothing to say negative about Tupac, other than the fact that I wish he wouldn't have tripped on my motherfucking homeboy Orlando Anderson. You know what I'm saying? I wish that situation would have never happened, because it was a string of events that took place after that. And that whole string of events that took place after that, man, it claimed a lot of lives. You know what I mean? It fucked up a lot of families. That one little incident in that casino fucked off families, fucked off businesses, fucked off the bag. Cats that had action that going to make millions and changing their lives and taking just percentages of this money that was sitting on the table and doing good on a small level in the community. You know, small stores, mom and pop stores. A lot of shit could have been born up out of that big motherfucking bag, bro. You know, but when that string of events took place, hip hop changed and the lives of 1,000 other people did. But to sit and say Tupac brought gangster rap an element of violence that didn't exist prior to that is bullshit.
Yeah, I don't know. I hear you. And I mean, you know, I don't think I've ever spoken to anybody who said they was actually homies with Orlando and stuff. So, you know, it's definitely a complex situation. We're glad that more is being resolved in terms of the case and stuff now, with people just getting an understanding of what happened, because as you said, there was a lot of volatility off the back of it and a lot of confusion and stuff like that too. And ultimately, you know, we want to see betterment and positive development and building within the hip hop community.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you like this, and I don't give a fuck what nobody say. I had a relationship with Tupac that I don't explain to many people, and the people that know that I knew Pac, they know how tight me and bro was. You know what I'm saying? And the cold thing about it is, like, he had an incident where he had to turn himself in and do a little time from some shit that happened on the set of a movie back in the day. And we all know that story, you know what I mean? But he wouldn't eat. He wouldn't eat when he went to jail. Stubborn as a motherfucker, anti-police, you know what I'm saying? Tupac, quintessential, you know what I mean? And I'm fighting my murder. And I'm on the floor below him, working in the hallway, hustling as a trustee and trying to get some money, and, you know, worked in the barbershop trying to cut a few heads and, you know, played a few games of chess. I'm in the jailhouse hustling, trying to keep some money while I go back and forth to court. And then my fucking supervisor tell me, "Hey, you know Tupac?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "He on the 3rd floor. He in a single man cell." I said, "Where at?" He said, "He won't eat. You think you can get him to eat?" I said, "What the fuck you want me to feed him?" He said, "Well, we're going to take you down to the dining room and get him some real food." I said, "Well, give me some real food when you get his." You know what I'm saying? You know? And that motherfucker said, "Man, go grab that blue milk crate." And this is the honest to God truth. That's why I say I got a relationship with Pac. I don't even really discuss with a lot of motherfuckers. It ain't for sale. You know what I'm saying? You know, Shorty used to laugh at that. You know what I mean? Like, "Man, that nigga love you, J-Dee." You know, and I got a crate of fucking ground beef, pinto beans, rice, salsa, flour tortillas, a gang of cheese, you know, a little bit of lettuce, and laid a couple of flour tortillas on that, covered that tray up. Then I made a cheeseburger, you know, put some fucking applesauce, a couple of pieces of fruit, and some fucking green beans on the tray. Put a lid on that one and stacked that one in there. Then I made another one. You know what I'm saying? That was all mine with all this shit on it. And I put a lid on that one, I stacked that one, put that one at the bottom of the crate. And I carried this crate to where Pac was. So walking down this road, it's high power. It's called high power. And this is the honest to God truth. You know, you can strike me the fuck down. And I slide up in there and I slide up on his cell. And he laid back. He looked like he had the Bible in his hand. All bullshit aside, looked like he had the Bible in his hand. So I said, "Nigga, you need to put that down, nigga. That ain't gonna help you now, nigga. Should have picked that up before you came to jail." And he dropped the book down and he looked, and I swear to God, the look on his face looked like man, my motherfucking homie. And it was priceless. Even the cop that the fucking supervisor, buff ass deputy, took me down there. He was a fucking a heavy metal head. He was a Pearl Jam junkie. You know what I mean? And he remembered me from Lollapalooza in '92 with Q. And this cop had went to that festival So when I was fighting my case and walking down the hallway, by chance, this motherfucker recognized me for being on stage with fucking Eddie Vedder and them and fucking the Chili Peppers, my nigga Flea and Dave Navarro and them. So he snatched me out of line, ended up with a job, and the job ended up opening up this lane for me to hustle while I fought the murder. You know what I mean? And I fed Pac, man. The look on Pac's face was priceless, bro. Priceless. And when he got out, he sent me $8,000. He put $8,000. He said, I'm gonna put some money on your books. That's what he told me. I'm gonna put some money on your books when I get out, my nigga. I ain't lying. And he put $8,000 on my books. This is the truth.
Yeah, nah, that's real, man. We know Pac, definitely a real one. So it's great to even hear a story like that and stuff too. And you know, you sharing that experience and stuff too. You mentioned the relationship. We could see, you know, there's one old picture with you and Pac. We're not sure where it was taken, but we could see that you guys had a close relationship.
I should take him ounces of weed to his video sets, you know. I should take him ounces of weed.
And no wonder you were smiling.
because that little motherfucker used to smoke, man. I was like, man, how the fuck you smoke like this? And he used to smoke. He smoked like Be Real smoke. You know, that motherfucker just smoked. So I should take him ounces of weed. He used to love that weed I had. And that nigga would just smoke. So I ended up being in They Got Me Trapped video. If you go back through that little footage and look at the video, They Got Me Trapped. He got me in the cell playing the inmate. I said, man, I played myself all the way to jail. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I'm in They Got Me Trapped, playing like I'm in jail. I'm in Check Yourself Before You Wreck Yourself, acting like I'm in jail. You know.
You think sometimes when people say that, like, art can imitate life or life imitate art, or, you know, if you sort of manifest it from, I guess, just even that, like, you know, acting it, or would you say it's a bit of a stretch?
Well, I'm going to tell you like this. The way I lived before music, my life imitated art. And after hustling and getting out the streets kind of, sort of, you know, my art imitated life. You know, I got some music right now, man, about to come out that's, I'm telling you, Alfonso's going to be nice. I'm going to send you something so you can spin it.
Okay. No, definitely. We got Genesis Radio Birmingham out here, and BattleOnline.com will definitely spin some out there. You know, we've been banging some of the older stuff, and J-Dee's Revenge, which he came back with. And actually recently you dropped something which we had a little snippet of 21 Angels, which was pretty deep. Do you want to speak about that?
Well, 21 Angels, man, it really wasn't supposed to be recorded, and I was encouraged by Darlansky. I was encouraged, shout out to Darlansky, and I was encouraged by the Chill, you know. And my boy Pauls, the MC, Pauls is so dope, man. Pauls is like, he saw the Instagram little reel. I just did a reel one morning, like last Friday, actually, bro, a week ago today. A week ago today, I woke up mad as a motherfucker looking at CNN. You know, looking at this shit from the shit that I seen the day before. And I'm like, this is some bullshit. This is some punk ass bullshit, midterm election, punk ass bullshit. These motherfuckers picked this rural ass part of the goddamn state of Texas to let this shit be played out, lock these rooms so it could be done in a mass fucking gory ass, gruesome way. And this shit, I believe this shit was fucking staged like a bunch of shit, you know? And they picked this rural ass part of town and they allowed these fucking law enforcement officers to get up in there and go get their children. But they didn't go rescue the other babies. And that don't sit well with me, bro. That don't motherfucking sit well with me. And I'm not speaking for America. You know what I'm saying? I'm speaking for fathers. You feel me? Because even those two teachers were children to somebody. Them 19 babies we know for a damn fact were. So that's unacceptable to me. You know, I believe as a father who bust your ass, pay taxes, and work your ass off, I believe your motherfucking ass deserve and should demand protection for your family, your children, and your property. What the fuck am I paying you my tax money for? And why the fuck is the rest of these corporations finding these tax loopholes and getting the fuck up out of paying them? You understand what I'm saying? So this disparity.
There's a lot of dynamics.
Yeah, this disparity in what we deserve and should get, opposed to what is given, it's not enough for me, bro. So I don't want to get caught up in being the old Lench mob motherfucker, because I know how to be. You know what I mean? I know how to be. But like I said, even back then, there were congressional motherfucking hearings and discussions about this black social political awakening that was taking place. Poor righteous teachers, the Lench mob, Paris, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Paris, you know, Ascari X, Public Enemy, you know, X-Clan, shout out to Brother J. You know, we could go on and on with the movement, King's Son, my big bro, shout out to King's Son, you feel me? There was a movement taking place. Ice Cube had socially conscious shit. There was a movement taking place, but there was also behind the scenes saying, there's no way we gonna make these motherfucking niggas billionaires and they wake these people up at the same time. No way. No way. No way. We are not about to make these niggas multi-billionaires and wake their people up at the same time. Do you know what the fuck we'll be faced with in 15 years? No way. Don't sign no more motherfucking acts with this positive shit. It's all about bitches, lowriders, tits, and liquor and jewelry and killing. And if that's what you're doing, even that made money. Even that made too much money. Alfonso, look at it. The Independents made a shitload of money late 90s, early 2000s.
After, you know, Master P, No Limit, those guys,
yes.
you know, even, you know, a lot of guys in the South, in the West.
Yeah, Draper, you know, James Prince, you know what I'm saying? Independents made a killing. Ice Cube, they made a killing. So you know what they said? Jay-Z made a killing. Independent. E40 made a killing. Too Short made a killing. Yep. Right then and there, they said, you know what? You added all that wealth up right there. These dudes are worth about maybe $4 billion collectively. That's a problem. That's an economic problem to a motherfucker if you pull that money back and do something with it collectively with your own. That's a problem. That's a potential problem inside the country that will empower people. You know what I'm saying? To move a certain type of way that these motherfuckers can't afford to let us move. I don't think brothers really see what's going down right now, you know? You know, if it ain't about a bunch of shiny jewelry and a bunch of whips, you know, and a bunch of how many bitches you got and how many gunners you got to send to go kill your own, you know, if it ain't about that, you really ain't rapping about nothing that people want to hear about. And then they tell you like this, man, old ass nigga, shut the fuck up. Nobody want to hear that old peace treaty shit you talking, nigga. That's how people be. So, you know, the focus had to be family, finances, and the Heavenly Father, and not in that order. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no doubt, that makes sense. And you just mentioned something which just kind of brought me to something slightly off topic, but one of these songs was featured in a popular video game, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. It featured on Radio Los Santos, the Lynch Mob, Gorillas in the Mist. I mean, what are your thoughts on that? And you know, some people actually blame that video game even itself for adding to a lot of the street culture with young people and stuff, because a lot of young kids were playing it at the time and they probably shouldn't have. But all in all, we can say it's a video game, even though a lot of people blame games for some of the stuff we see in society now, like Call of Duty and all that. But anyway, thoughts of that song being put in that game.
Did you say a lot of these games people blame, you know, the behavior that they see from the generation that grew up?
Yeah, there are, you know, a lot of different studies around it, especially on, you know, even going back to some of the old fighting games and beat 'em ups and stuff, and just the amount of time people put into it.
I mean, we could go back, you know, far enough to where people won't even remember, and you know, and that's not healthy. But at the same time, did you say Call of Duty? Did you take Call of Duty off that list?
Yeah, I believe that would be that's been in the list too. Modern Warfare.
Okay, so Call of Duty and Modern Warfare actually teaches a kid how to run a drill. You feel me? It actually teaches you how to recon some shit. It actually teaches you how to put together a unit and make that unit move. You understand what I'm saying? And it also encourages you, not just San Andreas, but Call of Duty. Headshots only, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? This is the language inside of Call of Duty. So we could say San Andreas, we could say Call of Duty, we could say
GoldenEye. That was another one. Even you just saying headshots. I remember sitting there playing with people and I saw everybody singing headshots.
Headshots. So if you sit back and you say it's the parents' fault, it's the gamers' fault, it's the kids' fault, it's whatever. The thing is this, bro. Them motherfuckers allowed it to be sold. They knew it was money in it to be made. Psychologists knew the effect that it would have. They knew the desensitizing and desensitizing the whole fucking generation would take place. They knew these kids would become fucking numb killers because they would be allowed to sit in front of this shit for hours. And when they couldn't, they would pout, piss, moan, and that motherfucking behavior would get the response from a parent that would say, just go play the shit, leave it alone then. And now you put them right back in front of this shit with the ability to kill their parents. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This shit, listen,
This
shit is for real, for real. And I don't really like talking this kind of shit a lot. Because people say, oh, he a conspiracy theorist, huh? No, I'm a fact-finding motherfucker. You know? And because I love facts, I don't like confusion. And that's how I am. My circle is real small. I got a little metaphor we used to say, I got it from my big homie Marcellus from Compton. He used to say, the smaller the circle, the tighter the fist. So I keep the circle small. Period.
Okay. And you mentioned that small circle. You know, we've seen that recently. We've been featured with other hip-hop West Coast legends, you know, The Chill, MC Gren, you know, Corrupt, a lot of these guys. I mean, what's the relationship like with these legends and stuff? And how important is it for you to be linking up with these legends now and seeing everybody getting their flowers with these super groups?
Well, that was part of my mission when I came home, was to demand that the homies got their flowers. You know, I didn't too much give a fuck about anything, and just to be respectful and keep it right. Shout out to Corrupt, shout out to The Chill, you know, shout out to Lansky, you know, shout out to MC Ren, shout out to Ice Cube, Too Short, Glasses Malone, you know, all of these brothers, Benji Stone, El Renee, Squeak Rue, Kurt Dog, all
Squeak.
They made these contributions based on their respect and love for me. Nothing else happened. It wasn't like, oh, this nigga might blow up, I'm gonna jump on the song with him and see what my shit do. You know, nah, they was like, bro, you still able to spit. Your bars don't have no, that's what Squeak Roo said, your bars don't have no rust on them, J-Dee. But see, I ain't really gave up everything yet. I'm giving it up. It's a process. I'm giving it all up. I'm not trying to hold nothing back. None of this music is to be harbored and, you know, vaulted. You know what I'm saying? For times to come, or when I'm gone, you know, unreleased material. Man, put all this shit out. I don't care. I love the culture. Give it to the culture. Give it to the culture. The culture will get back to you. I made it back after 28 years and was able to work with icons. And what better feeling is that? And I got to do a song with the entire Lench mob. And I got to do my first video and dedicate it to my brother and one of my best friends, Shorty, rest in peace, Jerome Muhammad. So that's a blessing, bro. I'm going to tell you, it ain't of my doing.
Yeah, all praises due to the Most High, man. And I think just before we, you know, even wind down, you also featured on The Chill's Elephant album. You know, pretty much all over that album. And speaking to The Chill, he said you guys have some new projects coming up. Anything you want to let the people know about?
Well, I got this record out right now that I put out on 420 called J-Dee's Revenge, Success is My Revenge. That's Volume 1. I got a single that's out right now. I'm finna release June 22nd called My City. And I got a single with my boy Kurt Dog. Kurt Dog featured me on one of his songs called My Nigga. It's playing in the UK now too. And My City. Once that drop, that's gonna be another one. Then I got Eddie G from Lakeside. He and I about to release a single in about for the 4th of July called Back in Them Streets. That's featuring The Chill. You know what I'm saying? Because The Chill, it's something about him I can rely on. You know what I'm saying? And I don't say that everybody else is unreliable. It's just something, it's a sound that he has, and then the mindset. If I poke him a little bit and say, hey, take me back to the Compton SWAT meet in 88, 87, and piece together 16 bars. And I'm telling you, you'll get something like you're about to get on this Out in Them Streets record. And we're going to put that out the 4th of July. So that's what J-Dee's Revenge, Volume 1, Success is My Revenge. J-Dee's Revenge, Volume 2 is The Blacklist. That's going to be coming out in August, Black August, in honor of all my comrades on them 4 yards. You know, George Jackson, Jonathan Jackson, and all them brothers who sacrificed their lives so we can have shit like packages and family visits and shit like that cats don't talk about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think I already had probably Nas referenced those guys in the South before I looked about the Jackson brothers and stuff. So, it's good that just spreading that extra light on these things. Because as you said, a lot of people don't know this stuff, especially in today's generation where people are just learning just directly off like social media and TikTok and things like that. And I mean, there are some good people out there putting together some conscious stuff, but even on the TikTok and stuff, that you're getting some bite-sized content and learning information and stuff too, which is pretty dope. So, before we kind of wind down, I want to shout you out as well, because you've definitely taken to even social media and the new age technology, still letting your presence be known with social media, TikTok, Instagram, all that cool stuff and that too. With that being said, just persevering forward as you have and continue to do, what message would you give to like young people out there that they could, find some motivation in, especially in these times that we see nowadays?
Well, one thing that I do want to say real briefly is this. I can promise every black man in the United States, from Brooklyn to Compton, from South Central LA all the way to the 305, Cartel City, you know what I'm saying, with Rick Ross and his whole family. If you keep playing in these streets, fucking with these people, knocking down all your loved ones and your own people, they gonna either murder you or they gonna shack your ass up for about 25, 30 years till you ain't worth shit. Please believe that they got space for your ass in these jails. And please understand that while we sit here and knock each other down and blow each other the fuck away and tear up all these families, motherfuckers are behind the scenes plotting our demise, and they're trying to orchestrate a genocide unlike any motherfucking thing seen in modern times. So I encourage every brother, whether it's music, whether it's sports, whether it's entertainment, whether it's philosophy or medicine, do that shit to enrich the lives of your own first. That's what I encourage. You know what I'm saying? That's what I encourage. I'm not going to be the kind of person that say everybody need to go to college. They don't. Everybody don't need to go to college. And I'm telling you, if you out there running drills in the street, putting together men to murder more black men, you're moving good energy in the wrong direction, bro. When we can move these men in a direction to become entrepreneurs, buy up our goddamn communities, and then block them motherfuckers off and have the right police police them, so they're policed by people who gonna make sure we protected, not pull up scared as a motherfucker and kill us and shoot the wrong person. So that's what I encourage, bro. Responsibility. All the music ain't gonna be positive. Life ain't motherfucking positive. But I ain't gotta kill my buddy and my partner or somebody I don't know because he don't like my shit.
Yeah, no doubt. That's real. And definitely. And just before we go, I know we're pressed for time. We usually ask people to give us. We're gonna ask you 5 names, just a bit of word association. So we're gonna ask you 5 names. You just let us know what you think of the individuals. So the first one will be the Chill.
The Chill is a well-rounded cat who been through enough to know that what he has now is worth fighting for, keeping, and respecting. And that's family and his business. That's his health. You know what I'm saying? And that's his relationship with his Heavenly Father. That's the kind of motherfucker Chill is. And he a good motherfucker to put it on top of that. He a good motherfucker. You know what I mean? And I use that term like Bernie Mac did. It's a term of endearment. That's a good motherfucker.
Okay, that's pretty dope. And number 2, we got Snoop Dogg, another West Coast artist.
Snoop Dogg is a fucking iconic household name today. And the brand that he built, it wasn't given to him. You know what I mean? And all the shit he went through labels, through experience, and through life's ups and downs, that motherfucker emerged victorious. And then off the heels of him losing his mom, the great Reverend Beverly, he bounced back, bro, with such a vengeance and such a work ethic and a hustle to where I can't do nothing but salute that motherfucker, man. That motherfucker is the new fucking James Brown. I posted that the other day. This motherfucker dog is the new motherfucking James Brown because it ain't nothing you don't see him with his hands in.
Next up, we got, taking it forward a bit, Kendrick Lamar.
The only motherfucking rapper that I know next to Scarface. Kendrick Lamar is the only rapper that I know next to Scarface that has put tears in my eyes, bro. You know what I'm saying? And that is hard to fucking do with music. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not influenced by music to the degree of, acting out irresponsibly. You know what I'm saying? It don't influence bad behavior. But that nigga sent me through 5 ranges of emotions, had me mad the motherfucker after the video went off. That transformation of all those faces from Kobe to OJ, you know what I'm saying, to Will Smith to Kanye. And then he finished with Nip. And when he finished with Nip, he just said, bam. And I was like, whoa. And if somebody felt some type of way about that, that's a damn shame. Because Kendrick and Nip, my young generation of crown grabbing motherfuckers, they the two right there. It start with them two.
Next up, number 4, we have Eminem.
Eminem is by far one of the hardest motherfuckers who ever played with words. You know what I mean? If you don't give it to him, and I say this with all due respect, he's the only motherfucker that I know can get away with the shit that he said. You feel me? So with that kind of a platform, and he'd take the controversy, he'd take the bump on the motherfucker on the shoulder or the head or wherever it is, and ride the controversy like the Donald Trump piece. He didn't give a fuck. You know what I mean? But he is probably one of the hardest. He's probably the hardest white boy I ever heard play with words, next to Yellow Wolf and a couple of more motherfuckers I know that's hella dope.
No doubt. And number 5, lastly, somebody who's been quite vocal recently and actually saying he feels he's a better rapper than Eminem, hating from the West Coast, Compton, The Game.
Hey, he owns, I believe this, and people get mad at me for saying it. His generation owes him. And that's everybody that came after him. See? He was there with the K-Dots. He was there with the J-Rocks. He was there when Nip came up. He was there. You know what I'm saying? And he ain't no slouch with his motherfucking word. And in my top 5 dead or alive, that nigga in him.
Okay.
Yeah, he in him. He in my top 5 dead or alive because lyrically, if you want to go to an album, that Jesus piece, that's probably the hardest motherfucking record that I've ever heard him seriously sit down and construct.
Jesus piece, a nice album.
Yeah, because of the fucking content that he used, how he used Blood Diamonds, how he used Church with Kevin Hart up in that motherfucker. He just a genius. Lyrically, he's a fucking genius. I can't wait till the day comes that I can meet him. You know what I mean? I'm a fan of the games like I'm a fan of King T's. And I'm a fan of Scarface and Kendrick, I'm a fan of them niggas, man. Like, I own they shit,
And that's dope, especially, even to hear from somebody like yourself and stuff. I know sometimes some artists be scared when it comes to giving other artists their props. And it's good, especially when you're like, from a different generation, but you can still respect the other generation as well, just as much and in their own right and capacity. Because everybody got their part to play. And it goes round and round the way I see it.
It does. It does go around and round. But whenever you can catch a motherfucker who can take what you love and then help let that evolution from that love bring a new sound, but still bring the element of that environment. He brought the element of that environment with a new sound. Feel me? When we first heard the game, it was like, that nigga sound like Biggie. No, he don't. That nigga sound like Nas. No, he don't. That nigga trying to sound like Jay-Z. No, he don't. No, he don't. He just let you know what kind of range he got.
Right.
When he settled into his lane and dropped the documentary, it was over with. He opened up a window for himself that only he could close.
And for the West, I think once again that after the whole East-West Coast thing, there was a bit apprehensive with kind of, publicizing West Coast artists to a certain level. And I think he really broke the mold for that again. But once again, you being one of the originators and stuff that was there prior, it's definitely a blessing and stuff that we've had you tap in. We hope that we can definitely keep the connection and have you back in again at some point, especially when you're releasing some new music so we can update people on those releases and stuff. Where can everybody find you on social media?
At J-D-E-E is free. J-Dee is free. At J-Dee is free. As soon as you punch in J-Dee is, it's going to pop up. You can catch me on all streaming platforms. I'm on all social media sites. And I don't do that TikTok and all that stuff. I ain't really into that. You know what I'm saying? I tap into the real ones, keep the real ones abreast of what's good and what's going on. I'm not chasing music money per se. I just want to give and insert something back into the game that's meaningful, something that, you know, has a story and a message, even if the message is something that you don't want to do. You know what I'm saying? It's a lesson in all of this. So I'm on all streaming platforms. You know, go to that J-Dee Lench, my YouTube channel, and go and subscribe. Check me out.
No doubt, man. So once again, we definitely salute you. We want to thank you for your continuation and, you know, for continuing to be a positive example. Big up to the Lench mob every time. And, you know, we're going to keep representing that here. Salute.
Shout out to my beautiful wife, PJ Cooper, and my beautiful family. I'm gone.
Peace, family. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and check us out on aboutthatonline.com. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook for exclusive playlists and social media for all different types of segments and content.